It's Josh and Chantel, and this is Wake Up Classy 97, the podcast. It's a replay of today's full show.
It's Thursday, July 25th. Today on the show, we talked cool pimple patches, sitting in the middle of the car when you're little. I wonder if I'm a bad mom for not knowing how to French braid. Baby raccoons and fishing pole snags. What to do if a moose charges while you're in a kayak, and what's the worst that could happen if the car wash stops mid-cycle.
Thanks for listening. You can hear the show live weekday mornings from 6 to 10. It's Wake Up Classy 97, the podcast. Enjoy today's show. Wake Up Classy 97. It's Josh and Chantel.
Don't appreciate you telling me what to do.
Wake up, Chantel.
I don't want to.
Remember the Wiggles?
Yep.
They had that song, Wake Up, Jeff.
Yeah.
Wake up, Chantel. It's National Intern Day.
Hey.
Interns are a big part of a lot of businesses and corporations and hospitals, universities. There's a lot of different places interns. INL's got a bunch of internships. Intern Day is a big deal.
True.
So give some recognition and thanks to the hardworking, often unpaid interns. It's your day. Today's your day.
Today's your day.
This is the day all the interns were like, oh, it's boss's day. When do I get a day? It's today.
Today.
Yeah.
I hope somebody recognizes you.
Today is Red Shoe Day.
Oh, I didn't wear any red shoes.
I wore yellow shoes.
What does you have yellow shoes? Oh yeah, you do.
Yep.
What's the significance of Red Shoe Day?
Red Shoe Day is a vibrant and meaningful event that highlights the struggles faced by those with invisible illnesses.
Oh.
Things like Lyme disease, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome. So the red shoes symbolize passion and commitment to raising awareness about the challenges of these people face daily.
Okay.
Red Shoes Day.
Well, I didn't even know.
Do you know what else today is?
What is it?
It's Chili Dog Day.
No, thank you.
Yes. You know what's under a chili dog?
A hot dog.
That's right. One whole hot dog and then some chili.
I thought you were going to play the music.
I know you did.
And I didn't want to hear it.
Maybe we'll talk about it later. I will. It's Hire a Veteran Day. That's very good. It is Refreshment Day. Don't tell our daughter.
Oh, she always asks to go get a refreshment.
Can I get a refreshment?
Nah, we haven't even eaten anything for dinner. We should go get a refreshment. How about we go get a refreshment?
It's Carousel Day. You like a carousel?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, it gets kind of boring after a while, right?
It just goes around and around and around. It is National Hot Fudge Sundae Day.
Okay. Now, this is something I can get behind.
You love a hot fudge sundae.
Hot fudge is the best topping of ice cream.
Disagree.
You're wrong.
Have you had hot caramel?
Yep.
Oh,
Hot fudge is
so
still better
good.
than hot caramel.
Negative. No way.
It is.
Hot caramel's so good.
Hot fudge is better.
It's second place.
No, wrongo. Does hot caramel get its own day?
Probably.
Doubt it.
All right. And it is Thread the Needle Day.
No, we talked about this.
Well, this isn't like the physical threading of the needle. This is when you find yourself in a difficult position, having to navigate your way through two positions of equal delicacy. Maybe you have to find a way to make multiple people happy, and you're trying to please both, so you have to thread the needle.
Oh.
You see?
I do see.
That's what it's about.
That's a roller skating thing too, isn't it?
Threading the needle?
Yeah.
I don't know if is it a roller skating move?
I think it is. Threading the needle, and then I don't know what it is exactly. I couldn't tell you the move, but I feel like I've heard people talk about that.
Let's see.
Let's thread the needle on our roller skates, you know.
All right. So there's like a slalom with like little plastic cups or cones.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you can do that move on one skate. You only have one skate down. The other one's lifted up.
Yes.
And you have to slalom those little cups.
Yes. See, I knew it. Oh man, we should go do that today.
I don't think we will.
You're no fun.
I don't want to have to break an arm or something. It sounds like break the arm day.
It sounds like if you have to get down on one skate,
Yeah.
my problem would be getting back up.
Mm-hmm. This guy I saw was standing.
I think I can have the balance.
He was like flamingoing through it.
Oh, I couldn't do that either.
Yeah.
My balance is
now,
too bad.
There's that other move I think you're thinking of where you like squat down on the one skate and your other leg's out in front like electric guitar leg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it?
No.
Oh. I can't do that trick either. Man.
I don't know what that trick is called.
I don't either.
Time for couple skate.
Yes.
Happy Thursday. It's July 25th. Good morning.
When you were a young lad,
okay,
let's say 13 through 16, did you have pimples or zits?
Oh, I had a lot of them.
Did you? I did too. And I distinctly remember being in school, I think it was probably 7th grade, and you had to watch Cable One. Remember?
No, we didn't have that.
You didn't have Cable One?
No.
Cable One was like a news channel.
Yeah.
And they would do like a quick, like you were in like an advisory or a homeroom class, and they would do a quick, like, here's a recap of the news. It was like a 10-minute, maybe not even that long, maybe like a 5-minute.
I didn't go to your bougie school.
It wasn't bougie for one. Anyway, they had an ad on there for Clearasil, which was a zit cleanser. And a friend of mine turned around and said, have you ever thought about using Clearasil? And I went, wow, ouch. Take the knife out of my back, friend.
I used those oxy pads.
Oh,
I used those.
Yes.
That was the thing. I can sort of still smell it thinking about it.
I used Noxzema.
Oy.
That was the smell.
But yeah, I don't even know if those things work. Those things like did anything other than make your face smell like you put paint thinner on.
I don't even know if they still make those anymore. I don't even see those.
They do.
They do?
Yep.
Okay, well, the new thing that kids are doing are pimple patches.
Right.
Our daughter has some pimple patches, and they're just kind of a clear little circle. It's almost like a Band-Aid, but it's clear, and you can't even really see it.
This is true.
So it's just like a little sticker. It goes right over your zit. It's medicated, so it helps keep bacteria out and help it heal.
Okay.
But the new thing
is thing?
that they've got these pimple patches that are shapes and colors. Stars are the most common, but they come in lots of different shapes and colors. You can even use them to coordinate with your outfits. It's almost like owning your acne. And kids are doing this.
I like the idea of being like, hey, look, this is just part of being a human.
Yeah.
And we all have to deal with it. And so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to accessorize my pimple. So I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to keep it from getting infected and gross and whatever, and I'm going to cover it up so that you don't have to look at it. But also, Star.
I know. They're
okay.
The kids they're selling 500 patches a minute.
What?
And they've become a form of currency at schools around the U.S.
No
Kids
way.
are trading them for stuff like snacks and lunches.
I need a patch. Well, give me a pencil.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think anybody's trading it for a pencil. It's a terrible trade.
I don't know. Mechanical pencils are in demand.
Are they?
Yeah. Didn't you hear?
No.
Oh, every time we got a pack of mechanical pencils, a month? It was. I borrowed it to somebody and they didn't give it back.
Oh, yeah. Our daughter kept saying that.
Mechanical pencils are in high demand.
Lending out your pencils.
That's what I'm saying. Start trading them for pimple patches.
They didn't bring their pencil? That's on them.
Right.
Start charging them. Get some collateral.
Right. I'm going to need
a down payment.
Yeah. I'm going to need something up front before I give you this pencil. But I'll just borrow one from somebody else.
Yeah. Cool. Go get one from someone else then. Anyway, that's cool. I thought it was cool.
I think it is cool.
Own your zits.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I like the just the acceptance of it. Like, hey, this is just something that it's part of life. It's part of being a teenager. It's part of growing up. So deal with it. It looks cute. Move on with your day. I like that better than, oh, you ever thought about using that?
Yeah, pizza face.
Oh, rude. All right, good news to get you going today. Let's go back in time to 1992, the Barcelona Olympics.
Barcelona?
Yes. Chrissy Parham won 2 gold medals and a silver at the 1992 Barcelona Games.
Barcelona.
It was nearly 3 years before Missy Franklin, also an Olympic swimmer, was even born.
Okay.
Missy would go on to win 4 gold medals and a bronze at the 2012 London Games. And then 1 more gold medal in 2016 at the Rio Games.
Overachiever.
Pretty great. Back in 2022, their lives collided. Chrissy learned that Missy's dad was dealing with end-stage kidney failure, and she decided to step up and see if she could help. So Chrissy kept the conversation private. She kept her identity anonymous. When she learned that she was a match, she then revealed her identity and shared the details of her Olympic success with the Franklin family. Well, she successfully donated a kidney to Missy's dad, and the families formed a really special bond. Yeah. Of course they did. Being so involved in swimming in the Olympics was special, but Chrissy's life-saving sacrifice took things to a whole new level. And now every few weeks, Missy will send Chrissy texts with photos and videos of her dad playing with his granddaughter. It's like a big deal, right? This is huge. Missy said, "There is not a moment with my dad when I don't think of Chrissy, not only that he's here, but also his quality of life." And Missy said, Chrissy and her family have visited the Franklins once, but definitely will not be the last. This all happened in 2022. Missy said their family now, anytime they come to Nashville, it's immediate. You're staying with us.
Yeah.
We're doing dinner, the whole thing, their family, and they always will be. And I think that's really cool. Yeah. So way to go, Chrissy. Big deal. And, we got the Olympics happening, opening ceremonies tomorrow. So
yep.
A great, timely, good news story to get you going.
When you were growing up, when you were a kid, did you have a spot in the car that you sat always?
I honestly don't know.
You don't remember?
I remember always fighting over shotgun, but I don't remember like if I sat on one side of the car or the other as a kid with my sister.
I can tell you exactly where my brother and sister and I all sat.
Well, they probably had window seats and you were stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Because they're older than you.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Quit being a baby.
No, that's not fair.
Yeah,
Why don't I get a window seat ever?
Because you're not old enough. Sit in the middle with your feet on the hump, Chantel. Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it is. It's where the little sister goes.
I know. That's not cool.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
It's as cool as you make it. Nobody else has a hump for their feet. Just you.
I know, and that's not
for your
fair.
Short legs. Because you're the little one.
I will say, one time we went on a trip, and, this was the 80s.
The 80s?
We had a truck, and it was a single cab.
Oh.
And
all 5 of you crammed into the single cab?
No, my mom and my dad and me were in the truck, and my brother and sister had to
way. They rode in the bed of the truck?
Yes.
Yeah, this is why you sit in the middle with your feet on the hump. Get over yourself. Are you serious? That you made them ride?
I didn't make them do anything.
Yeah, no. You did.
No, my mom didn't make that choice. There wasn't room for all 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And they got very, very badly sunburned.
You think?
I didn't.
Is this the trip to the Grand Canyon?
No.
Where was this trip to?
I don't remember. It wasn't like a long trip. I don't know. I was little.
You said road trip.
Well, I don't know where we went.
Camping or something?
I don't know.
I was just little in the front seat. I was sleeping.
That would be awful if my parents made my brother and sister ride in the back of the truck all the way to the Grand Canyon.
It was the 80s.
What kind of parents? That would have been
We can't fit
awful.
all 5 of you up front. So
Chantel gets special seat.
Wow. Are you proud of yourself?
No, I'm not proud of myself. I didn't choose that.
You know, my favorite seat was we had a little Toyota station wagon thing.
Uh-huh.
A little hatchback.
Okay.
My favorite seat was in the very back, facing backwards, looking out the back window at everywhere we'd been. That was my spot.
Why?
It was the 80s.
You really did like that?
Yeah.
Dude, in the 80s, and we didn't even wear seatbelts.
No,
sometimes I sat on the floor.
Some of the vehicles I rode in didn't have seatbelts. Like they were old cars.
Yeah.
My mom's arm was the seatbelt.
Yeah.
That was it. That's what you dealt with.
Oh, man.
Saved your life, she'd say.
Yeah.
Every time. I saved your life. You're the one driving, you maniac. What are you talking about?
Oh, man. I miss the 80s.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with the modern conveniences of seatbelts and anti-lock
Safety.
brakes and power steering and crumple zones. I'll take today's cars.
All right. That's fair.
Plus, they were like real heavy. And people argue about that. Oh, they don't make them like they used to, you know. I will say there is a simplicity of working on cars from that, 60s and 70s and 80s where you could like sit in the engine bay and wrench on stuff.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was good. That was cool. Yeah, that's what happens when you're older. You have to know these things. That's not a little sister thing.
I don't want to. That's not a Chantel thing.
You just go sit in the front seat with your parents.
I will. You take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody get me to where I need to be.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, I'm going to need you to help me with the story because I can't remember all of the details exactly.
I remember all of the details exactly.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, then you tell the story.
In our trailer, our camp trailer, the kids have bunk beds, like in the back.
Mm-hmm.
In Emery's bunk, she has decorated, and she put up little battery-powered LEDs.
Here's the difference between our kids. Emery's bunk is super cute. It's got lights. She's decorated. Beck's bed, completely unmade.
Yeah. It's fine. It's where I sleep. It'll do. That is a big difference. She made art to hang on the wall in there. Anyway, she's got these battery-powered LED lights, and she put them in there last year, and the batteries died, and so she wanted to put new batteries in to run them this year while we were going camping. And the battery door that you slide off has this screw in it, and it's this little tiny screw, but the screw doesn't come all the way out. It just lifts up enough that you can slide the little battery door. But it's a real pain in the neck. It's very inconvenient because the screw sticks down far enough that you can't slide that battery door off like easily.
Okay.
And it's frustrating. And so she went and got little screwdrivers and we put new batteries in. Well, we're out camping a couple of weekends ago and they weren't working. And so she was like, I need to check and make sure the batteries are in the right way, even though they were already working once. So that wouldn't have changed. But whatever. Doesn't matter. We wanted to do a reboot on these things by taking a battery out and putting it back in. Mm-hmm. We couldn't get the thing to open. She couldn't get it to open. She asked you to help. You couldn't get the thing to open. And you're like, you got to take the screw out. You got to do the screw thing. And I'm like, we didn't even tighten the screw. The screw is just in the way. And I'm getting frustrated even listening to the two of you go on and on and on about the screw has to come out. The screw has to come out. And Emery's like, no, it doesn't. We already moved it.
Here's how I was frustrated by you, because you wouldn't even get out of bed to come look. You just laid there saying, you don't need to take out the screw.
Yep. Just keep trying. And finally, you guys were like, no, you're going to have to come look at this thing. And I'm like, fine. I'll quit being lazy. Here we go. So I get out of the bed. I go over, and I went to open it. And I said, let me rewind just slightly. The whole time you're talking about the screw, someone said, you've got to manipulate the screw.
No, I said, because you said you don't need a screwdriver to take out the screw. All you have to do is just lift.
Right.
And I said, I can't. I was trying to explain to you that I couldn't. It was impossible to move it.
Yeah.
And then I said, did somebody manipulate the screw somehow?
Right.
so that it's
But
like
you kept
wedged
saying
in
it
there.
like a lot. Like you probably said it 6 or 7 times.
I did not.
Yeah, enough times that when I got up and I went over to help, the only thing I could think of was somebody manipulated the screw. The screw has been manipulated. And so as I'm trying to mess with it, I just said, "Did you manipulate the screw?" And you both were done. You both lost it. You went into a fit of laughter.
No.
It was fine.
What made me laugh was because Beck is quiet through the whole thing. He's usually got headphones in. He doesn't listen to anything we say or do. Beck is just
he's in his own world.
He's just a feature that's there.
Okay.
I didn't think he was even a part of anything that was happening. And then you walk over there and say, "Did you manipulate the screw?"
Yeah.
And he busted up
the
laughing.
whole
I thought
trailer
he
was
was
just
asleep.
done.
I thought he was out of it.
Because he heard the 6 or 7 times somebody said, "You got to manipulate the screw. You got to manipulate the screw."
So, moral of the story, did you get it working?
Yeah, because I manipulated the screw.
I knew it.
Enough to be able to slide the door out.
I knew it.
I didn't have a screwdriver. I just moved it and then pulled the door open. It was no big deal. Move on with the night.
Well, you should have gotten out of bed much earlier than you did.
No. You shouldn't have manipulated the screw like you did.
I didn't even touch it. I couldn't even touch it because somebody had already manipulated it.
No way.
Here's a legitimate question. Am I a bad mom because I don't know how or like to do the stereotypical mom things? For example, I don't know how to French braid my daughter's hair. I never have.
You're learning.
I am learning.
You've been
now.
practicing.
She's 14. So there's lots of times I've looked at other little girls' hair and looked at the mom and been like, "Man, that's cool that you know how to do that." But again, it's not something that I've ever wanted to learn how to do. So then I go, that's such a mom thing to know how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Is it?
Plus, also, I just never cared to learn, right? So I go, does that make me a bad mom? Or stereotypically, moms, like, it's somebody's birthday and they're like, "Oh, my mom makes the best this. I'm going to ask for this for my birthday meal because my mom makes the best this." And I go, I don't like to do a lot of cooking.
I've always gone out to eat on my birthday.
That's typical, I guess, which is, how I like it best, too. But, like, there's a lot of moms who enjoy baking and they, here's my prize-winning cookie or my prize-winning bread. And I go, I just don't care to do that.
The original question of, am I a bad mom? The answer is no across the board so far.
Great.
You're just the way you mom.
Okay.
Not everybody does it the same, and it's also not a competition.
But there's like those stereotypical mom things that people expect moms to know how to do or to like to do, really.
Okay. Do you think they like it?
I don't know. Some of them do, for sure.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. So?
Well, so Emery got this new heatless curling system.
Okay.
And so I was helping her figure that out last night. And she's like, "I know you don't like to do my hair," because she'll ask me to French braid her hair sometimes. And it's not that I don't like to do it. I like spending the time with her. I just don't feel like I'm very good at the French braid. And so then I get frustrated and then I try again.
Cut her hair off?
No, I don't do that.
Because, I've seen when you're doing sewing projects and you get frustrated and then the sewing project ends up in a pot. It happened more than once.
One time.
It's happened more than once.
Well, then maybe that sewing project should do what I want it to do.
And then the project is in pieces cut up on the floor and you walk away.
Yeah.
And then you're like, that project isn't happening.
Was stupid.
It's done.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, you would just chop her hair off and be like, I can't deal with this.
No, no, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
So she asked me to do that to help her with that heelless curling thing. I was helping her. I was getting frustrated because it is kind of it's pretty simple. Once we watched a video, it was fine. But reading the instructions at first, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a French braid to know how to do this. I'm not very good at French braids. And so then I went, the whole time I'm doing it going, you should know how to do this. You're a mom. Mom should know how to do this.
Right, because it's a skill that you just inherit because you have a kid. Like, boom. Oh, now I can French braid.
I wish.
Yeah, no, it's something you got to practice and get better at and learn more. Like, I don't know why you're beating yourself up about it.
Oh, that's what I do best.
Stop it.
All right.
What? Am I a bad dad because I don't take my kids fishing?
You've tried.
I know. They don't like it.
No, they don't.
So I'm a bad dad. That's what that means. That makes no sense. Am I a bad dad?
Bad dad. All right.
You're not a bad mom.
Thanks, Josh.
You're a good mom. You mom your own way, and that's the way it should be. Do your own thing.
Mom your own way.
Mom your own way.
You can mom your own way.
That's right. We've got a Facebook group. It's the Classy 97 community. And over there, I asked the question this morning. I said, without revealing your actual age, what is something that you remember that if you told a younger person right now, they would not understand?
Okay.
Now, I saw this earlier today, and I thought, oh, this is a great question. Because the answer that I saw was fantastic, and it really made me feel some nostalgia. And it was that video games only work on Channel 3. Because you had to have that little box with a little switch, and you had to use a screwdriver to attach it to the back of the TV to be able to plug in your video games.
Well, and the same if you had a VCR. If you
Same
rented
deal.
a VCR, you
Yep.
had to have that same deal.
That little box. And it was either 3 or 4. You had a little switch that you could switch on it. On some of them.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones were like locked in. It had to be on Channel 3 for that input to work. But anyway, that was a moment in my brain, and I went, no way. So I asked a question on the Facebook group on the Classy 97 community, and we've got a few really good answers. Rotary phones, actually having to turn the rotary
My
part.
parents still have a rotary phone.
Hanging on the wall, yeah.
It's yellow.
It
and
has
the
a very
cord
long
is
cord.
completely stretched out.
Yeah. Banana seats and sissy bars.
Oh.
That's pretty good. Dial up is on the list. Lawn darts, the real ones with the metal tip. Those were something else. And also, no one ever played that game properly. Like it's the same game as cornhole. It's the same game as horseshoes. It's the same game as anything you throw down, a washer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You throw down a length and you get it into a spot. It's the same thing, except it was a pointy spike that you threw in the air and then hoped no kids ran underneath it before it came back down. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Was an actual thing they ran on TV, which is pretty awesome. Kenny over here, he just said respect. Like, but young people don't have respect. I don't know, Kenny. Collect calls, calling the operator.
Collect calls. I called my mom collect once or twice.
And then said the name real fast, the message. Come pick me up.
Yeah.
I'm at the bowling alley. Come get me.
No, I was in college.
Oh.
I was poor.
And it was long distance.
It was long distance.
I mean,
so
even Pocatello to Idaho Falls was a long distance phone call.
So it was like, hey, call me.
Call me. Sifting through the black binder, deciding what tunes to play in your car.
Oh, yeah. Case logic.
Right. Let's see. What do we have in here? Calling cards.
Calling cards.
Mm-hmm. My pet monster, Zach threw that one out there, which was a stuffed animal. He was like this monster, and he had handcuffs on, and he was a cool dude.
Oh, I don't know that guy.
Yeah, and there was also a show for my pet monster. 2 keys for a car. Did you ever have a car that had to have 2 keys?
Yeah, one to start it and one to unlock it.
And then, of course, manual transmission. The stick shift is
rolling
on there.
down your windows manually.
Yep. 8 tracks, party phone lines made the list, phone booths made the list,
I don't think
What
I ever
else?
used a phone booth. I don't
Like
think,
a payphone
Yeah,
phone
I don't
booth?
think I ever used one of those. I'm sure I must have, but I don't remember it.
Somebody said stop animation. Somebody said you've got mail, which that for sure. If you didn't live through it, you don't know you've got mail. The difference between 33, 44, 45, and 78. Do you know the difference between 33, 45, and 78?
No.
Oh. Do you know what any of that means?
No.
Oh. Those are just the record speeds.
Oh.
Depending on the size of the LP would determine the RPMs for the motor, whether it was a 33, a 45, or a 78.
Oh.
And then you had
I
that
didn't know
little
that.
little cool UFO thing you had to put inside the middle of the 45 in order for it to fit on your peg.
I do
because
know
for
that.
some reason the 45 had a big hole. I don't know why they used the same machine, I would think, to make the 45 that they could make a regular 78 LP. Anyway, I could geek out for a minute. If you want to chime in, you can do so. The Classy 97 community Facebook group. Without
Those are some good
revealing your
answers.
actual age, what is something you remember that if you told a younger person, they wouldn't understand? Go add yours.
You like to fish.
Yeah.
I don't like to fish, but I like to go with you and sit in a chair and read my book. That happened just last week. You decided to take it was pretty later in the evening.
Well, it was
9 o'clock-ish.
Well, it was prior to that because I wanted to get out there. We had kind of taken a walk, and I had seen a whole bunch of fish rising in an area the night prior, and I said, I want to get out here around this same time. I want to be fishing before this time hits tomorrow, and so that was kind of the plan. So we made our way to that little stretch of water, and we were set up, and I was just doing some fishing. I wasn't really catching anything. They weren't interested in what I was fishing with, and it was getting dark quick, and it wasn't right. It was bad timing. Everything didn't go right. However, as we're sitting there,
beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful evening, and I went my book, and I said, I'm not going to read. I'm just going to look at nature because it was cool to just look at nature.
It was beautiful.
And then I hear you say, psst. And I'm like, what? Leave me alone. I'm enjoying the peace. And you said, psst, there's a baby raccoon.
Yeah.
And I looked over, and there was a tiny little baby raccoon that had made its way up onto the bank.
He was wandering right over next to me, and I'm like, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Know.
This is one of the greatest parts about fly fishing, and this is why I prefer it over all other fishing, because you're so connected with nature doing this particular type of fishing. And not that you couldn't be with spinner fishing or if you're out bass fishing or whatever. It's just they're different. And when you're standing in the water and you've got nothing, it's just quiet. And the what you're fishing with is a bug, right? It looks like a bug. It's part of nature. You've studied entomology. Like there's all of these things about it. And it's so peaceful and serene. And you cast and you watch and a fish comes up and gobbles it. You get to reel them in. It's a whole thing. But other than that, you get osprey, you get eagles, you get other animals, you get baby raccoons, you get deer walking by. You get all this nature wrapped around you because you're just part of it. And that's so cool.
It was cool. I had never been that close to a raccoon before. And because we had stayed so still, he kind of wandered over right next to us. And I don't know who it was.
The baby raccoon.
The baby raccoon just wandered right next to us and was just foraging for food. I didn't have any snacks for it, but also
which is fine.
Don't feed
give
the
it
wildlife.
Food. Yeah. But he was digging around on that beach. He was finding something, so it was all good. But he just, he didn't care that we were there, and he just did his thing. But it was just it was so strange to just, like, here he comes. I don't even know where he came from. He just all of a sudden was there, and I caught him out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
And I was happy it wasn't a skunk, because that was my first thought was, I'm about to get skunked. And that's not going to be great. But it was this cute little baby raccoon doing his thing.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It was amazing. I loved it. We talked a little bit ago about you doing some fishing while we were out last week. You also did a little less fishing on one of those outings and a lot more snagging. How many times did you snag that fishing pole?
Listen to me. This is secret stuff. You don't have to talk about this. This is just part of what happens when you're fishing.
Okay, the terrifying part. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
You just haven't fished with me on brushy banks before. And that's just part of what happens when you're fly fishing. And it's the worst part of it because you're trying to cast and stuff's getting snagged in your back swing and it's a whole thing. And it gets frustrating. And there are times you got to like pull your boat over or you've got to, try to make it break off and tie something else on. And it's a whole thing.
This particular
it's a
spot
frustrating part
where you were fishing was on a slope. I was at the top of the hill where it was more level, set up my chair, got my water, got my book. I was ready to get comfortable. You're fishing on a slope. A couple of times I thought you were going to fall into the river that was fast moving.
This river was not that fast, 1. 2, was barely ankle deep.
From where I was sitting, it looked very deep and very fast. I was nervous.
It wasn't bad.
I was nervous.
It really, if I wasn't wearing the shoes I was wearing, I would have just waited and it would have solved all my problems because I wouldn't be on the shore casting backwards into brush. I would be facing upstream and casting with water behind me the right way. But nonetheless,
you were buried in the brush trying to dig out your fishing line. I was super
frustrated, and it kept happening because I was trying to get underneath that brush to get my fly to float along the bank where the fish live, and it wasn't working very well.
At one point,
I was having a hard time.
You said, "Hey, will you come hold my rod while I go try and untangle this mess?" And you dove into the brush, untangling your thing, and then I hear you say, "Okay, let go. Is it out? Is it out?" And I said, "Yeah, it's out." So you buried your way out of the brush. You get out and you go, "It's not out."
Right, it's still stuck. Like you said it. Like I'm asking, did you see it float down the water?
No,
no, you didn't. Yeah, it's out. No, it's not. So back into the tree I went, and then my foot slipped off the bank once, and so my left shoe got wet. That was not nice.
I couldn't see you. You were so buried in the brush, and I hear a splash.
Yeah.
Oh, and I went, "Oh, he's falling in." Mostly, I just didn't want to have to save you.
You weren't going to have to save me.
I was going to have to save you.
4 inches of water. It's fine.
I was gonna have to save you. I'm not a saving kind of person. I'm a rescuing kind of person.
What does that mean?
That means I'm usually the one that needs to be rescued.
Oh, I see.
I'm not the person to be doing
you're
the rescuing.
The damsel in distress, not the hero. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Finally,
well, thanks for bringing up all my fishing fail.
After the 10th snag, you finally said, "All right, I think I'm done."
Yeah, I need to come back here later with my waders so I can actually just wander around and explore. That's a great stretch of water. I really want to go fish some more because that's a nice little spot.
You found a couple of good spots.
Yeah, I've located a couple of good little fishing holes, and I want to go.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
I'm not telling anybody where. I'm excited to go fish them again with the right gear. And without you watching me get snagged all the time.
Don't ask me to come help you then. Let me just enjoy my book.
Yeah.
How about?
Keep your nose in your book. Don't worry about what I'm doing over here. And don't bring it up to a whole bunch of people. It's rude.
We were floating the river the other day, and I was fighting with the dog because somebody thought it would be a fun idea to take our lunatic dog.
I think that was you. I think it was you you were like, I'll put her in her life jacket in the kayak with me. I think that was. I'm pretty sure
it was a terrible idea.
Sure.
I doubt it.
But anyway,
we happened upon a moose and 2 babies.
Yeah, the mom moose and 2 babies, and then just downriver, another mom moose and another baby.
So the first moose that we stumbled upon, Emery actually saw them rustling about in the trees on the banks. And she said, "Mom, I think that's a large animal." And I said, "Oh, we've seen some cows. Maybe it's a cow." And she said, "I don't know. It's big. It's brown."
Cow moose.
And I said, "Okay, let's hang over on the side." Because moose are terrifying, especially mama moose, if
Right.
they've got their babies. And so I
Right.
said, let's hang out on the side because I have a crazy dog. And I'm doing everything in my power to keep the dog in the boat as it is. If she sees a moose, she's going to bark. It's going to cause chaos. I'm going to get chased by a moose. This is terrifying. This is terrifying. Sure enough, it was a mama moose and 2 baby moose. And I went, oh, this is bad news for me. This is very, very bad news for me. So I kept trying to distract Luna. She does not like water splashes. She tries to bite water splashes. So I'm very quietly, because I don't want to draw attention to myself with the moose either, trying to keep my distance, trying to paddle on by, trying to keep the dog distracted by the splashing water. So she doesn't notice the moose and starts barking. That was one of the worst experiences of my life.
But you got to do it twice.
I got to do it twice.
Then we saw the mom moose with the other baby
Another
moose
one.
further downriver.
Further downriver, I see another baby and another mom, and I went, not again. I can't do this again. And then I leave Emery with you. I said, you have to take care of our daughter because I got to take care of myself and this dumb old dog.
I got to tell you, this week that we were off adventuring all last week, was the week of baby animals for you.
It really was.
Between the bear and the bison.
Yes.
And baby ducks that we saw, and the moose and the baby raccoon. And then we saw that baby deer.
We did.
Like right in the road as we were running around at the campground. Like little baby deer with the little white spots on it, like a Bambi.
I know.
It was a week of baby animals for you.
Just a week of wildlife. We saw so many wildlife.
We saw the bald eagle. We saw all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we did.
It was a good wilderness week.
It was.
All
terrifying.
Animals. Terrifying. Did you live?
Yes, barely.
But did you live through it?
Because I had to distract the dog.
Dog didn't even seem to care. Did she even see the moose?
No, because I had distracted her enough that she was trying to fight the water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding you, though. If that moose came charging at us, if it was between me or the dog, I'm sacrificing the dog. Throwing her
the dog
overboard.
is in a flotation thing. So if she would have jumped overboard and you just paddled, she's going where you go. She's hooked to. She was tethered. She has the tether hooked to the kayak. She's not going to get very far. You're going to be able to get into a more controlled environment, scoop her up, and put her back in the boat.
What are you supposed to do if a moose chases you, though? What are you supposed to do? Well,
on land, you would get out of the situation. You don't run because then they're like, yeah, now we're racing. You would probably ball up, I think, if you were on land. In the water, I don't know, paddle away.
No way, dude.
Yeah, way, dude.
They're so fast. Moose are so fast.
Paddle faster.
I can't paddle that fast while also trying to keep a dog in the boat.
I just told you, don't worry. The dog is tethered. Focus on your safety of paddling away. Get yourself out of that situation.
I will next time.
Because you're not taking the dog?
Never taking the dog.
That's right.
I told a story a couple of weeks ago about a car that was in a car wash.
Yeah.
And it had come off, one of the tires
right.
come off of the rail or the track
because the person
system.
in the car decided they needed to turn. Don't put your hands on the wheel.
Well, we don't know what
happened.
happened.
Put it in neutral. Don't touch the brakes. The car doesn't go off the rail by itself. They yoinked the wheel.
Okay. We were in the car wash just the other day, and there was an emergency stoppage in the car wash.
Yeah.
Everything stopped. The car stopped. The car in front of us stopped. The car behind us stopped. All of the spinny, foamy things stopped. It was a little frightening because, one, what are you supposed to do in that situation?
Wait. Wasn't frightened at all.
I was kind of scared.
What were you scared about?
It was dark. We couldn't see because there was soap all over the windows. You can't roll down a window.
What's there to see?
You can't open your door. You can't move. You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're trapped. And there's nothing I hate more than being trapped.
So, worst case scenario, what happens?
Trapped for a long time.
Oh, no. Trapped for a long time?
I don't like being trapped.
In the comfort of your vehicle?
I don't like being trapped. I don't like it.
With the air conditioning on?
I don't like being trapped.
Oh, no.
We don't know what happened, right?
No, it's just they had to put a stop real quick.
And then all of a sudden, we were probably stopped for maybe a minute.
Maybe tops.
And then it started back up again.
Yeah.
And that was scarier than anything.
No, why?
Because I started to feel like, okay, we're going to be here a minute. We can't do anything about it. So I'll get on my phone. I was scrolling Instagram. And then it just started going again. And that was scary.
Worst case scenario. What happens?
We get out.
What? That's best case. I don't know why you were scared.
It was a little terrifying. I don't like being trapped. I've already told you
Trapped
7
for
times.
a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, less than a whole minute.
Josh, I didn't know what to expect. And that's the scariest thing of all.
It's a tunnel. It's got one way in, one way out. You're on a conveyor thing. If everything stops, the spinny things aren't running. Like if the conveyor stopped and the spinny things were just sitting there beating up the car, that's different.
Crazy.
Or if the spinny things stop and the whole car wash is done and you just get pushed out on the conveyor, like, well, that was not it. I didn't even get the car wash. That's a thing that could happen. Still not scary.
What do we think happened? Why did it stop? Do we know?
Who knows? Maybe somebody did something wrong. Maybe somebody hit the brakes on their car when they shouldn't have. I don't know what happens.
You didn't see anything?
No, there was bubbles. I couldn't see through the bubbles. But I wasn't. At one point, was I like, I'm frightened right now.
It's fun to live with me, isn't it? Isn't it fun to be married to me?
It is your would you rather this or that question of the day.
Would you rather play soccer with flip-flops on or play basketball with a hockey helmet on?
I'll shoot some hoops with a hockey helmet.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I listen.
I couldn't remember what I said.
I'm going to shoot hoops with a hockey helmet.
Okay. Why? Why are you picking that one?
Because the other one sounds more complicated.
Flip-flops are dangerous.
In soccer, you got to kick.
And you got to run. You can't run in flip-flops.
Yeah, I can run around in a helmet. That's fine.
Plus, you're just accurately,
now, am I wearing
protected.
the hockey helmet or am I wearing the goalie face mask helmet?
Goalie face mask.
Yeah, same. I'll still shoot hoops in that.
Okay.
I can see out the eye holes just fine. For shooting hoops?
I'm going to pick that one too just because I feel...
Because my logic was sound?
No.
Yes.
Because flip-flops are dangerous to run in.
They're dangerous to walk in.
And I'm not very good at basketball, so I can't imagine that I'd be any worse at basketball.
What if that's the key to your success at any sport? You put on your magic sport helmet and instantly you're a pro.
That would be cool. Wouldn't
it's
that
like
be
Frosty's.
great?
It's Frosty's hat.
Yeah.
But it's your sports helmet.
Hey Chantel, want to go shoot some hoops?
Let me get my helmet real quick, and then you show up full hockey face mask to shoot hoops. 1-on-1, 3-on-3, full court. You do it all, and you're good.
Okay, listen. Here's a funny story. When I first started college, there was a cute boy, and he was playing basketball in the gym.
What's his nickname? Cute basketball boy?
No, I didn't have a nickname for him. He was just a boy I randomly saw. He was in the gym shooting basketball. And my friend dared me to shout a cute pickup line. And I said, hey, are you shooting some hoops? And then I did that thing with my hands.
Okay.
Are you shooting some hoops?
How'd it go?
I ran away.
You're the coolest person I know in the whole wide world.
I know.
You're better today than yesterday daily challenge. It's a good one today. It's to discover a new show and watch 2 episodes of it.
I've already done that.
I know, but today is a challenge to do it again.
Okay, I will.
I like the show that we've been watching.
There's a couple of shows that we watch. There's one called The 7 Little Johnstons, and it's a little family of little people.
Right.
I love
a big
them.
family of little people.
Well, it is a big
There's
family.
7 of them.
And then we've watched a show called Receiver.
Right, which we need to watch some more episodes
which is
of that.
about NFL receivers.
Right.
And Justin Jefferson just happens to be showcased on that. Justin Jefferson, as you may know, is one of the best receivers in the NFL right now, who plays for the Minnesota Vikings, which is the best NFL team.
Okay. Sports Talk with Chantel. You're better today than yesterday. Daily challenge. Discover a new show. Watch 2 episodes of it. I think that's fair because the first episode typically is a pilot episode that they use to get the show made.
Yeah.
And then the second episode is like, all right, we made a show. Let's dive in. Let's get some story going. And you might find that you really find a show that you like. Invest emotionally in a story outside your own life and be excited to watch it.
All right.
That's
Might
better
I
today than yesterday.
recommend Receiver, which is about the NFL
No, we
wide
know.
receivers.
Yeah, we know.
There's also a guy on the receivers. There's 5 different receivers. Devontae Adams is also on that show. And I find that he is also quite cool. He is from the Raiders.
Cool.
I know.
Sports Talk
It
with
is
Chantel.
cool.
Sports Talk. All right. That's going to do it for us. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow morning on your
almost Friday, everybody. Yeah.
Check out the show on demand if you missed any part of it or you want to listen again. You can get the show wherever you get podcasts. Today's show will be posted momentarily, so you'll be able to download it and listen again or catch up on what you missed. And we post it every single weekday. So if there's a new show, then there's a new podcast. It's Wake Up Classy 97, the podcast. You go to riverbendmediagroup.com and click on podcasts and listen there. Or you can just search for it everywhere you get podcasts. Apple, Spotify,
Pocket
Amazon,
Casts.
Pocket Casts, Deezer. They're all over the place. So wherever it is you get podcasts, you can get Wake Up Classy 97, the podcast.
Super cool.
Yep. We'll see you
Tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Wake Up Classy 97, the podcast. If you enjoy the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Wake Up Classy 97 is hosted by Josh and Chantel Tyler and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com.